second language acquisition. So acquisition will be effective way of learning second language. That is the motive. And this second language acquisition covers so many issues. Okay. So in one hand, we are speaking that second language acquisition will be the better way of learning second language. But why and how? That is the question. Because just like when Chomsky, he said that, Noam Chomsky said that language learning becomes effective before 10 years of age. Why? Before 10 years, a child, a learner became stress-free. They play with computer, and with their playing, when they hear something, when they achieve something, their memory works well, and they can learn the language easily. Yep. So that is, and whenever a learner will be growing old, then many things will come in their life, and for this reason they can't concentrate well. They will be a man of stress, and for this reason the older age people or the older age learner is slow at learning, especially the second language learning. Here, this is the challenge of this course, that is second language learning. If second language learning becomes quite similar to the learning of a child, then it would be easy for the second language learner. But in which way and in how it will be and what are the things related to second language acquisition, we will briefly discuss in today's class or this segment of this class. Some factors comes in case of second language acquisition. Actually, first thing is that means we have learned our first language, mother language, and mother language is a language, and that we have learned from our birth. And for this reason, first language or native language is settled firmly in a learner brain. That means a aged learner brain. একটা বয়স্ক শিক্ষার্থীর মস্তিষ্কে তার ফার্স্ট ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজটা গ্রথিত থাকে। And for this reason, whenever an adult learner will go to learn the second language, it creates some problem, it creates some benefit as well. So in some portion, it will create some benefit, and in some portion, it will create some challenges. So that is the dichotomy of first language and second language or target language. And for this reason, it is also said that a learner should unlearn the first language, that means mother language, to be a quick, effective second language learner. So that is the dichotomy of first language and second language. Another thing is that the centrality of syntax and morphology. Syntax, we know, that is the sentence structure, and the morphology. In this world, there are approximately 7,000 languages. The linguists and the scholars, they say that in every language, there is a structure. That structure is more or less same. And this structure, study of structure is the common phenomena of learning language. And the morphology, that means the word formation, morpheme, the significant portion of a word is called morpheme. So morphology and structure or syntax is the center of all these 7,000 languages of this world. Okay, and If we put focus on sentence and morphology of a single sentence or single language, that will help us to learn so many things, and that would be easier. That would help the second language learner to learn their target language quickly and effectively. So if you focus on syntax and morphology of the target language, okay, so that is the importance of syntax and morphology in case of second language acquisition. Third one is competence and performance. Competence means ability. Ability, every student or every learner will have some ability. And this ability depends on several things. You will be understanding next time that this ability, some learners are enthusiastic enough that they can say, oh, I can learn many things within a very short time. Some will be slow in achieving the target language input. That is their perspectives. So it may vary. That means competence may vary from learner to learner based on many issues of age, issues of enthusiasm, issues of stressful situation, issues of situation, issues of context. Suppose you have got yourself admitted to learn a language, but at that time, if it is create a pathetic situation or incident in your family, then that situation, that context will make the learner slower in case of learning second language. So competence is a thing that is related to several issues of the learners, but there should be a competence for the ability of every learner. There is some common ability of learning second language or learning anything or any field of human science or knowledge or anything else. And performance, that means what you are going to occur or how, in which way you are producing your input. That means you are getting some knowledge from internet, from college, from social perspectives. And after that, when you will try to produce your knowledge in the actual platform, that is called performance. So there is a relation between competence and performance. The students or the learners who will have more competence, they will perform better. And the students who will have less competence, they will perform less perfectly. Okay. So this is the dichotomy of competence and performance. Acquisition and DS learning, we have also said that that is the acquisition and learning. The role of first language. Okay. In case of first language and second language, we had been discussing that is first language, the language we learn from birth. And in case of English language is the first language of 5 countries, you know. And apart from these 5 languages, language countries, other countries people learn language as their second language. Okay, so it is assumed that second language or first language always be a hindrance of learning second language. Why? Just for an example, in many dialects, they can't pronounce certain word of the target language quite clearly. Okay, just for an example, in case of Chapainababgans, they can produce the sound saw. Okay, they will be speaking Assalamu alaikum, but they will be they are in a problem in case of producing some sound of the target language. Observing this situation, the linguists, they commented or they assumed that first language is a problem in case of learning second language. But next time it proved wrong. In which way? They said that there are some similar language just for uh, Arabic and Farsi language, uh, Persian language. So these languages, in case of these three languages, Persian, Arabic, okay, uh, and also there is a similarity. In this case, first language or the mother language will not be a problem of learning the second language. In this case, first language, that means if anybody's first language is Persian, if he or she wants to learn Arabic language, so Arabic language learning for this learner will be helpful because there is a similarity between these three languages. In the same way, if uh, there is no similarity between uh, the first language and the target language, it will create some problem. Okay. And that is called the first language and second language hypothesis. Hypothesis means imagination, assume. It is not tested. It is assumed that the first language and the second language, there is a linkage because all are language, but there are some problems and some benefits in case of the relation between first language and second language. The natural root development, that is also relating to the syntax and morphology. Okay, so root, in every language, we will see some root. Root means every language will have some surface structure and deep structure. Surface structure, that is structure we see, okay, and deep structure, the hidden structure. Okay, in every language, verb is common. Okay. Verb will be there, noun will be there, okay, adjective will be there, okay, and structure will be there. All language. Okay, so verb, noun, adjective, structure. Okay, these are the common. These are the hidden structure, and with that, following that route, language learning will be easy. If we follow that, every language will have a root. And what is the root? In this root, we see verb, noun, adjective, adverb. These are the common phenomena. And this noun, verb, adjective will combine together and will make a complete sentence, and as well as will make a complete sense. That is the rule. And for this reason, many researchers, they said that actually in case of second language acquisition, in case of second language learning, we have to try to develop the root of our target language. If we want to learn Spanish language, then you have to find out the root of that target language. That is quite similar with other languages. So if we try to develop the root of the target language, then language learning will be quite easy. So, and that language transfer, that can also be called language transfer. In which way? That means the first language, in case of Hindi, and many words, Hindi words are quite similar of Bengali words. Something of a target language, if there is a similarity with the target language, suppose if we want to learn Hindi language, that many Bengali words are common in Hindi language. And for this reason, for ourselves, Bangladeshi or Bengali speaking people, Hindi learning will be easy. In which way? That means this word are transferred to the target language, and that benefits or that issues the similarity between first language and second language. And for this reason, the benefits that is shifted from first language to target language, that is called language transfer. Okay. That will also help for second language learning. And another issue that is contextual variation in language learner. Okay, so contextual variation. Okay, so one learner can learn a language differently in different contexts. Okay, so context play a vital role in case of learning second language. And how context can play a vital role, we can understanding by analysis, by analyzing the error. If we analyze the error, then we can understand that how context, okay, so if how context can play a vital role in case of learning second language. And error analysis can be done by two kinds of analysis, that is contrastive analysis and longitudinal analysis. So through analysis, we can study the context in which the second language learning can be easy or can be full of challenges in a target, in a fixed context or in a fixed situation. So these are the second language learning acquisition and the key issues relating to the second language acquisition. And here, Chomsky, he has said that Chomsky proposed that native language speaking children would become fluent by the age of 10. Noam Chomsky, you have heard the name of this linguist. Noam Chomsky said that by the age of 10, language learning will be easy for the learners. He also argued that if the children learn two languages from birth, they are more likely to be fluent in both. If a Bangladeshi or Bengali speaking child is brought up in England, so he will be in a context where the child will be learning Bangla and English simultaneously. So within the age, that is 10 years age, the learning will be both for the learning second language and the first language, that will be easy for the learner. And what are the characteristics of second language acquisition? I have said that there are some root development of learning second language. In order to learn a language, either it may be second language or foreign language, ability to identify and memorize new words, that is it is crucially needed. That means you have to understand the new words of the target language and memorize the vocabulary. Ability to understand the function of a particular word in sentence. Ability to figure out the grammatical rules and memory of new words. So these things are common to all languages of this world. So if anybody puts focus for this learning or for these issues, he or she will be successful in case of learning second language. Successful language learners may not be strong in all the components of aptitude. Aptitude means ability. So ability to understand the vocabulary function. So there will be a difference from learner to learner. One learner may learn the vocabulary well, but another learner may be good at speaking. Another learner may be good at writing. So it will be a variation from learner to learner. It is common, but these are the key factor of second language learning. In this regard, Skinner, another, he said that language learning depends on operant conditioning. Actually, Skinner developed the social theories. He said that language learning initially it becomes a habit. It depends on a condition, and going through the condition for a certain period, that condition became the habit of the learner. And this way of learning second language is called second language learning through operant conditioning. So operant conditioning is a technique that can be used to target and increase a behavior by pairing performance of the target behavior with a positive or rewarding outcome. Okay, so language learning with some time it will become a habit formation for the language learner. When language learning will be a habit of the language learner, that would be easy. And that habit formation will be depending on some positive atmosphere. If some positive inspiration by enthusiasms occur in case of the language learner, that will help the learner to. Suppose if anybody does well in case of presentation, other one will be praising the language learner. So in that case, the praising situation will be a positive effect or the positive outcome for the learner. And next time the learner will try to present the situation or try to present a speech in a more positive way. That is the Skinner operant conditioning. In this course, next time we will see also the Skinner operant conditioning theory or social theories elaborately in the successive classes. In second language phenomena, there is a common theme. That is the several stages we follow. What is? First is the pre-production. This is the silent period. Silent period means if we look to a 1-year baby, okay, this time the child cannot produce a language. But if you attract the child with some words, with something, then the child will try to attract that word. And by many linguists, it is called silent period. In this silent period, a child accepts these words. And in the same way, if we think about an adult learner, at the first stage, the learner will listen the word of the target language. At that time, they can't produce the target word. So they will be listening first time. And that in that silent period, the linguistic data will be accepted by the target, by the learner. So this stage is called the pre-production stage. That means they will be achieving the language data in there. Second stage, the early production. This stage may last up to the 6 months to the students will develop a receptive and active vocabulary of about 1,000 words. So early production. So in this time, the learner will learn the vocabulary of several words of the target language, and this stage is called the early production. And third stage will the speech emergence. In the third stage, with the vocabulary of the target language, the learner will try to speak few words, few sentences with the help of his previous knowledge of the target language. The fourth one is the intermediate fluency. Intermediate fluency in case of IELTS, that means if we get B, bench score 6, bench score 5, bench score 4, there is a vocabulary level that is intermediate fluency or fluent like that. So in the fourth stage, they will have the intermediate fluency, and in the fifth stage, that will be the advanced fluency. So these stages are common in second language acquisition. If we want to study a language, we have to follow this process. Instantly, a learner can jump to the advanced fluency. So through this process, reproduction, early production, speech emergence, and intermediate fluency, a learner can go to the advanced fluency. And it depends on several things that would be discussing next one. And some other issues, okay, why we will be learning the second language. It needs no telling that second language learning or the target language learning nowadays, it has become a necessity. It is not a fashion. So if you learn a language, you will go into the target language country's culture, their heritage, their civilization, and you can connect with so many people of so many languages if anybody wants to learn language. So it is the importance of learning language. And in case of uh, uh, principles of second language acquisition and bilingualism. It depends on input and output condition. Input is necessary in case of second language acquisition. And this input may come in two different ways. Okay. What is the two different ways? Suppose if we attend a language class, in that class, you are getting language input. That is the formal way, classroom. And if we visit a target language country, and if we speak to the people over there, if we go over there to purchase the grocery, to purchase the other stuffs, there you will be directly connected to the people of the target language. That is one kind of input, and that is that also plays vital role in second language acquisition. Another kind of input will be, that is the informal input. Another kind of input will be if we watch target language movies, if we listen the target language speech, if we practice orally with your friend or with your classmates, that will also be a kind of input. So in case of second language acquisition, input will be there. There was a research. Upon the research, it was found that if a child, after its birth, if it remains in isolation, একটা শিশু জন্মের পরে সেই বাচ্চার সাথে যদি কেউ কথা না বলে, তাহলে সেই বাচ্চাটা হলো কখনোই কথা শেখে না। এটা গবেষণা করে দেখা গিয়েছে। So in case of second language acquisition, of course, input will be there, and this input may be of different kinds, but input will be there. Without input, there will be no output. Without language input, the language output will not be offered. And in case of second language acquisition, so that means we are speaking that second language phenomena that will be second language learning will be quite similar to the second language acquisition. That is the concern of this course, that is second language acquisition. But some factors play vital role in second language acquisition. আমরা বললাম যে ভাষা শেখা যদি শিশুদের মতো হয় তাহলেই ভাষা আমরা ভালোভাবে শিখতে পারবো, but no, there are some challenges. What are the challenges? These are the factors. That is the motivation, attitude, age, intelligence, aptitude, cognitive style, and the personality. So these factors play a vital role in case of learning second language. There are two kinds of motivation. Intrinsic motivation. আপনাকে জিজ্ঞাসা করা হলো যে আপনি ইংরেজি কেন শিখতে চান, আপনি বললেন যে আমার ইংরেজি ভালো লাগে। So that is intrinsic motivation. And আপনি ইংরেজি মুভি দেখতে চান, বেড়াতে যেতে চান ইংলিশ স্পিকিং কান্ট্রি। So that is the intrinsic motivation. An extrinsic motivation, কাউকে জিজ্ঞাসা করা হলো why do you want to learn English language, or why do you want to complete this course? He said that yes, if I complete this course, I will get a promotion. That is called extrinsic motivation. So if there is a monetary benefit in case of your motivation, that would be called extrinsic motivation. But whatever the scenario of the motivation, it may be internal or it may be external motivation. Motivation play a vital role in case of learning second language. And also attitude, how you will weigh attitude. Once upon a time, it was thought that we shouldn't learn other language. We should learn Bengali language. Why? If we do not learn or use Bengali language properly, that would not be fair for our mother language. Okay, this is the attitude of the language. So if you are antagonistic for learning target language, then language learning will not be easy for the learner. So language learning should also be dependent on attitude of the learner. And age, it needs to tell that age play a vital role. Intelligence, aptitude, cognitive style. Some students can understand a thing after hearing a thing one time. Some students can't understand hearing a thing two times or three times. So some students' brain might be quite fast and some students' brain might be quite slow. Okay, so that is the cognitive level of the learner. So cognitive level of the learner, according to some scholars, it is quite similar, but according to some scholars, it may vary from learner to learner. And for this reason, cognitive style play vital role. Cognitive style of the learner play vital role for the okay, and also the personality. This also play a vital role in second language acquisition. As we have said it earlier, that the vocabulary, grammar, interference of mother language, self-efficacy, and the motivation, they play vital role of second language. Okay, there are some models. Stephen Krashen and the acquisition. And Stephen Krashen, an American linguist, actually he is an educationist. So Stephen Krashen, he introduced a model and the concept of study of second language acquisition. Okay. He has offered, when we will be dealing with the monitor model next time, we will see that he has done well and he has prescribed some model through which we can learn second language. So Stephen Krashen is a vital person in case of learning second language acquisition, and he prescribed several theories, not theories, some hypotheses regarding second language learning. And he is the proponent of a model that is called monitor model that we will learn next time. And also, there are several kinds of benefits of learning a second language. Stephen Krashen, in a lecture, he has said that if we learn two languages, you will not be growing old. It means language learning will make a learner younger day by day. In which way? This is the context. That is, if a student learns a language, the student's cognitive function will be increased. His or her analytical function will be increased. That means enhanced problem solving skills. Okay. In other way, you can do so. But if you want to be a multilingual, then these things you will get, that a learner's problem solving skill will be improved, improve verbal and spatial abilities, improve memory function, long and short term memory. Okay. And this will be if we try to learn many languages. Enhance creative thinking and capacity. Creative thinking and capacity. In which way? That means creative thinking is not attributed to someone who will not try. Okay. So if you want to learn many languages, creative thinking will be involved. Better memory will be there, more flexible and creative thinking. So these are the benefits if we learn second language. Indirect benefit. Naturally, the direct benefit that you will be getting IELTS advanced score 7. That is the benefits of learning English language. But the indirect benefit, that the criticality of the learner, the problem solving ability of the learner will be improved if anybody tries to learn second language or third language or fourth language. And what are the essential elements of second language? Fluency and accuracy, you know, okay? And what are the barriers of second language acquisition? There are psychological barrier, in many cultures, language is a part of their uh, uh, country's recognition. So in that country, they want to suppose once upon a time we would know that Chinese and Japanese, they are not ready to learn other culture. Even there was no immigration possible in Japanese and Chinese. কেন কেন immigration সম্ভব না? তারা চিন্তা করতো, they would think that if we invite immigration to Japan, to China, our ethnic identity will be crossed and we will lose our ethnic um, recognition. And same thing will be happening for language learning. Many countries, they think that we will be learning only our language. So if it is the attitude of the learner, the psychological barrier will be there and language learning or language acquisition will not be easy. Didactic, that means in which way you will be learning language, it depends on you. Psychophysiological. Okay. Actually, mind is the storehouse of doing a thing. There is a book written by Shiv Khera. The title of this book that you can win. You can win. You can also search that book. This is a book based on motivation. So before the discovery or the intervention of YouTube, we didn't have the motivational speech. So this book written by Shiv Khera, that can be called the motivational book. So there are some stories about there that will help you to inspire your mentality. Many learners, they have some attitude, quite pessimistic attitude. They say, oh, আমাকে দিয়ে কিচ্ছু হবে না। এটা যে শুধু লার্নারদের ক্ষেত্রে আসে তা না, এটা লার্নারদের প্যারেন্টসদের ক্ষেত্রেও আসে। তারা অনেক সময় বাচ্চাদেরকে বলে তোকে দিয়ে কিচ্ছু হবে না। তোমার বয়সে আমি গামা পালোয়ান ছিলাম, আমি 5টা যুদ্ধ করেছি, করেছি, অনেক কিছু বলে। So the such kind of thing, if their mind is not ready to accept challenge, then their body, then is the human brain is the storehouse of so many capabilities. So if your body is not, your mind is not ready, your brain will not try best. So that is the psychophysiological barrier. So at first you have to be determined that, yeah, I have to learn this, and you have to drive for that. And that is one kind of barrier. And linguistic barrier, what type of barrier it is? Linguistic barrier, that means in case of many languages, some other words cannot be pronounced by many learners. That means S-U-R-E, the word pronunciation is sure. P-O-U-R, কেউ বলছে power, কেউ বলছে pure. So in case of some learners, this word cannot be pronounced properly by the learner. That is called the linguistic barrier. In the target language, if it is French, if it is Russian, if it is Chinese, some problem of pronunciation will occur to the learner. That is called the linguistic barrier. Social adaptation and competence. Social adaptation, you know, whether you, okay, so many of you may say that, yes, I love Chinese language, but I don't love their culture. They eat everything. Okay? And for this reason, I don't love their culture. If any learner doesn't love the target language culture, that learner is not in a position to adapt the target language culture. So in that case, the language learning will not be effective. So that is called the social adaptation. We will also be discussing when we will be discussing with the acculturation model of second language learning. So these are the barriers of second language acquisition. And we have seen that second language learning and foreign language acquisition. We have discussed about that. We have also discussed the centrality of syntax and morphology. So these are common in every languages. And so we will see that if we study syntax and morphology of a single language, that would be helpful for us to study other languages quite well. Competence and performance, we have also talked about that. Chomsky actually prescribe this formula, that is competence and performance. Competence consists of mental presentation of linguistic rules, which constitute the speaker's or hearer's internalized grammar. Okay, so that is competence. So competence is for the mental setup of the learner, and according to the competence, a learner can learn new things. Okay. Acquisition-based learning, we have talked about that. So to summarize that, second language learning is a phenomena. Many things it is related, and it covers the development of phonology, lexis, grammar. Lexis means study language based on meaning. Phonology, that means the sound of the target language. Grammar, you know. Pragmatics, that means the idioms and phrase, that means not literal meaning, figurative meaning. So many language will have some word. If we do not study pragmatics, then you can't understand that word of the target language. So second language acquisition depends on the study of formal phonology, that means the study of sound. Lexis, that is the study of meaning. Grammar, you know, and the pragmatics, that is the study of idiomatic expression of a language. So these are the variables of second language acquisition. And we have also talked about the role of first language in case of second language acquisition. And that thing will help us with root language development. We have talked about that. Okay. So natural root development will be there. Okay, L1, L2 hypothesis, we have talked about that. Longitudinal study. Longitudinal study, we can study. Researcher repeatedly examines the same individual to detect any change. Okay. Suppose there were 20 MCQ questions, and a researcher will put that question in the morning, or he or she will put the same question in a library, in an examination hall. In several situations, how many faults are done by the language learner? Such kind of case study is called longitudinal case study. Through the longitudinal case study, we can understand the errors. That means error analysis. So error analysis is also a part of second language acquisition. Through errors, we can understand that why such kind of errors occur, and why and in which situation such kind of error can be eradicated from the second language learners. So case study and the error analysis will also be helpful for second language acquisition. Okay. So this is all for the brief discussion of second language acquisition and research. Okay. So thank you. And if you have questions, you can put your question now. I am here to answer your question.
Sir, we have no question. Thank you for your great lecture.
Okay. Any other questions? Anybody?
No, sir. No, sir.
No question, sir.
Okay.